you do your thing. How's it going? Thank you, and I appreciate that. So if it freezes up on here, go to you can go to Sade Burrell on Instagram. Sorry, on YouTube, and it'll be right there. We're going to be studying. I know we usually do the opportunity guide, so it's a few of you who have opportunity guide. I'm going to get back to that next week, but starting tomorrow. But today we're going to be taking principles from this book, Being Stuck is Not an Option, which is a book that was written by my late and great cousin. And I was able to finish her book. And I just want to leave some principles that I actually got from her book and her life story. One of the greatest gifts that she left us was her story in a book. So we'll go ahead and let me just talk just a little bit about what's going on. So I was inspired to switch it up just a tad bit. You guys seen the flyer and everything, and we're trying to get everything a little bit more situated, right? When it comes, what's going on? That's my sister, beautiful Shanice. That is my sister, my blood sister. She's in the building. She's here to learn. Hey, if you got your pen and paper, do the pen and paper emoji. Remember, we're not here for entertainment. We're here to learn. All right. So if you got your pen and paper, put the pen and paper emoji or something like that, the little pen. If you don't have your pen and paper and you just here for entertainment, well, I just suggest you click out of here. I'd rather talk to myself than entertain people. I'm not here to entertain. We are here again to learn. I want to teach you guys some principles to really help you transform your life, really get you back on track, right? I'm going to talk about a few different things that in her book. She talks about everything from never giving up. I'm going to break that down. I know you're like, I heard that before. No, I'm going to break it down, all right? And then I'm going to talk about health, right? And I'm going to talk about setting your family up, right? So she talks a lot about that in here. I'm going to give you guys some nuggets. And everything, okay? So Being Stuck is Not an Option, which is written by my late and great cousin, Tranisha Dangerfield. So we're going to go over that. So, and by the way, her book is going to be available it's available on Amazon, actually. So let me see. Let me type this in. Being Stuck is Not an Option. Written by Tranisha Dangerfield. All right, there we go. All right. See, somebody got a pen. We got one person with a pen. I don't know if everybody else got a pen, but remember, get your pen and paper. I'm going to teach you guys some life lessons. I tell you one thing. The one thing that I do know is that I try my best to use lessons that I've learned in my personal life to help people from stop making mistakes. Right? So a few people who I've hit up, I'm like, hey, you might not want to do it that way. And they're like, oh, actually, I checked into it and you can, or whatever it is. And it ends up being wrong. And I'm like, trust me, that's wrong. I know because I did that mistake, and I'm trying to prevent people from making mistakes. And my cousin, she put all that in a book. She put it in a book, and she left it here for not only her family, but for other people to be inspired by her life. So again, if you look at the comments, it says Being Stuck is Not an Option, written by Tranisha Dangerfield. All right, so let me get into this. Let me give you the backstory about my cousin. So my cousin, along with my other three cousins, we were all raised pretty much together, right? My aunt took all of us in when we were younger, and she will always take us in, right? So instead of letting us enter foster care, she would take us. But it was a time when all of my older cousins, they were all over 18, they were 19, 20, etc. And my aunt had moved to a different side of the community and things like that. And so that is how we enter foster care. But prior to my cousins being 18 and prior to my auntie not living close to us, we were in foster care, but we didn't know, right? We had social workers and things like that, but we didn't know because my cousins actually helped my aunt take care of us. So they sacrificed their childhood to raise me and my siblings. All of us, all six of my siblings, they sacrificed to raise us. And so when I was younger, they used to give us partners, right? So my oldest cousin had my oldest sister, and then the second oldest had me, and then the third oldest, which was Tranisha, had my third sister. right? So everything went by age, right? And so that was for the first 3, right? So that was what we did for the first 3, right? And then of course my mother kept having children and things like that. And so they did the best they could. Nevertheless, my cousin helped raise us. So she was somewhat considered like a sister to me. I wouldn't necessarily consider her like a cousin. She was biologically a cousin, but in reality, she was a sister to me. And so I wanted to honor her. And some honest feedback. Here's how I deal with it. I want to help you all learn how to deal with death. One of the ways that I deal with death, again, if this is freezing up, go to YouTube, because on YouTube it's not freezing up. Nevertheless, how I deal with death is I believe in following the Bible. That is how I follow my scripture. There are a lot of people who don't completely follow the Bible, but we ain't gonna get on that subject. Especially if you go to church. Never mind. I ain't gonna keep going. Nevertheless, one of the things that the Bible says is that the body will return to where it came from, which is the dust and the ground, and the soul will return to where it came from. And those of you who are true Christians, you all know where the soul came from. And those of you who are true Christians and believe in the Bible and subscribe to the Bible actually know where our true citizenship is. If you do not subscribe to the Bible, or you are following Babylon churches, meaning churches full of confusion, you unfortunately do not know where your true citizenship is. That is why you hear so many people arguing on earth. I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen. And it's like, oh, if they only knew where their true citizenship was. And so my cousin, I receive a lot of comfort in knowing where she's at. I receive a lot of comfort in knowing that she's okay. I receive a lot of comfort. Shout out to someone who just joined us on YouTube. Again, if it's acting funny on Instagram, please go to YouTube. It's a better platform too. But nevertheless, I receive comfort in knowing where my loved ones go after. Right? My brother died. I knew where his soul went. And so you have to understand that the body and the soul are 2 separate entities. And so it was a time when I couldn't look at anyone dead, because I'm like, oh no, I can't look at anyone dead. But when I realized that the body is just an instrument, right? But the soul is what makes me who I am. The soul is what makes you have the personality you have, right? Etc. That's what the soul does. And so when the soul is removed from the body, oh man, I think we begin to get sad, because we're naturally selfish human beings. I want my cousin here. My cousin had amazing recipes. She was a chef. She had several businesses that she ran. I mean, I remember when I went over to her house, I was trying to help her start up her YouTube channel. It's heartbreaking. I want my cousin here, without a doubt. I want my brother here, without a doubt. My uncles. I want a lot of people here. But when you understand where your soul goes and where your true citizenship is, it comforts you. Right? It doesn't mean you can't feel sad. Of course, I grieve and I feel terrible. I feel sad. And some days I just bust out crying out of nowhere. People are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, man, I just seen the color red. I just seen the color pink. And I realized my cousin loved the color pink. Or I heard her poetry and it reminded me of my cousin. And I have to pray. Right? So, again, her book is entitled Being Stuck is Not an Option. And it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Right? A lot of people in my family didn't even know you could get a hard copy of her book. I went on there and ordered it, seeing that you can get a hard copy. And so I'm going to go through the lessons, right, in her book, right? So the first chapter, she actually starts off telling her story. And I want to give you guys some background on the story. She had a tough life. And I'm not going to minimize anyone else's life story, but I will say this, is that there are some people that are dealt certain cards in life, right? People look at me and go, oh, I can't believe you had a hard life. My life was nothing compared to my cousin. And the reason why I want to make that point is because I'm going to get to a point where I explain to you how she overcame, which is why she says being stuck is not you all right? You okay? Sorry, my daughter. You all right? No, you good. You okay? You all right? You okay? Sorry, my daughter was choking on a piece of chicken. I know I look calm, like, ain't you gonna get up and help you down? No, she all right. I taught her CPR. Nevertheless, she overcame so many obstacles and trials and tribulations, which is why she says being stuck is not an option. She emphasized that it is not an option. From the time she came out of her mother's womb, she was dealt a terrible card. She came into the world not, and people say, oh, with a silver, oh, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. She didn't even have a spoon. Some of you were at least born with a plastic spoon. Some of you were given some type of opportunity. You have to understand, when she was growing up, the way the foster care system set up, it was worse back then because it was terrible when I was in it. So when she went through what she went through, it was 10 times worse. Being stuck is not an option. From the time she came out the womb, she was dealt a bad hand. But she turned a bad hand. If any of you ever played spade, you can turn a bad hand into a great hand. And that's what she did. She said, being stuck is not an option for me. Oh, no. I didn't have a spoon in my mouth when I came out. I didn't have any resources. I didn't have any people to really help me the way I needed to truly be helped. But she found a way no matter what. And so she starts off the book. Like if I read to you the first sentence of the book, she tells you the neighborhood she grew up in. And if you get the book, the first sentence, you'll be like, oh, the neighbors. It said the first sentence, the neighborhood was rough, surrounded by guns, prostitution, alcohol, and drugs. That's the first sentence in the book. Now you have to understand this took place in the projects, not San Diego, in the projects in LA. In the projects. She was born in the projects. My generation, my family is first generation, not projects. My generation, first, not born in the project. My kids are the first. I believe I was the first one. You know, my generation, first one not born in the projects. And those of you who don't know what the projects are, it's a place that is set up to make black folks, especially black folks, not even people say, oh, low income. No, black folks not be able to thrive. The projects, the trap house, all that stuff was set up so we wouldn't thrive, right? And so one of the lessons that I began to take from her book was that she shared stories. And I remember some of the stories that she shared because I was a little girl. And I just remember watching her get in trouble with some of the stuff. I'm like, I wonder why she got in trouble. She had many different challenges that she had to overcome. And so one of the things I remember, she got in trouble when she was in middle school. And I remember her getting in trouble in middle school, but I really didn't understand. And so in the book, she talks about it. And she talks about why she did what she did and how she was just simply trying to protect herself. That sounds familiar, right? Any of you who know my story know that I said I got in trouble because I was trying to protect. And she was trying to protect. And because she was trying to protect herself, because she was being bullied, she was expelled. She was expelled. She later went on to high school. She told the high school counselor, I want to be a nurse. Despite the many obstacles that she had in her life, she had an IEP. She was, like I said, she was dealt a bad card. Sorry, Instagram. She was dealt a bad card, right? And with this bad card, it led her to have different disabilities and things like that. And so what she did was she said, I still want to be a nurse. I want to be a nurse. The counselor said to her, hey, if you want to be a nurse, you know what you need to do? You need to pay attention in school. We got to get you to college. Let me tell you this. She was the first person in my family, in my generation, because my aunt had earned a scholarship. She earned a $10,000 scholarship to San Diego City College. And it was $10,000. It was $10,000. It's called the Price Scholars. And I remember being like in 6th grade or 7th grade and everyone saying, yo, Trinisha got a scholarship, because you have to understand everyone betted against her. Everyone, not only because of her disabilities, but because of the environments that she came from, where she was born, the fact that she didn't even have a spoon in her mouth, they betted against her. She graduated from Crawford High School and earned a scholarship. Do you understand why I have the passion I have for education, the passion I have for people going to school for free? Because I watched my cousin at a young age. I had no clue what she was doing. But I knew that, hey, I remember that she had many obstacles because I lived in the house with her. I watched her go through these obstacles, but yet and still she persevered and got a $10,000 scholarship. Some of you have no challenges and you still cannot figure out a way how to pay for college for free. You do one Google search and you give up. Again, being stuck is not an option. You do one Google search and you're like, there's no scholarships available for me. She had a mentality. This was a mentality that she ingrained in herself. It's a mentality that most foster youth don't have. And I'm gonna just be keeping 100%. Most foster youth don't have that mentality. Oh, I need to. Oh, well, nobody showed me. Nobody taught me. That's not a reason to not do what you need to do. Get your butt up and figure out a way how to do it. That's the honest truth. And we need to start telling not only our foster youth that, but we need to start telling everyone who's ever been through hard times and situations that they need to get their butts up and figure it out. I know, like, Shadi, that's kind of hard. There are many obstacles. There are many obstacles. There are many things that are going to withhold you. I promise you there are. But do what you can with what you have. How many people do you know that can graduate from the University of YouTube? Many. Many. Figure out a way you can't stay stuck. I could not survive poverty. I grew up in poverty. So when I got older, I said, oh, I can't. Now, mind you, there are many obstacles I have because I am Black. Many obstacles I have because I am a woman. Many obstacles I have because I am first generation, etc. But I promise you, I try my best to figure it out. It takes 10 times more effort for me to have to figure it out. Imagine if we taught our foster youth that. What if we taught our foster youth, hey, I know you were dealt a bad card, but if you just simply took advantage of the resources that are available to you, oh, how beautiful would that be? Because being stuck is not an option. The system's not going to take care of you. I promise you, the system was set up to help you fail. And when I say system, what I mean is any government-ran institution, welfare, CalWORKs, Medicaid, Medi-Cal in California, anything where the government has its hands in, they're not going to help you be a millionaire. That's not the purpose of it. But my cousin realized that. She realized that the system was not going to help her be successful, so she was going to figure it out on her own. And she talks about the resources she took advantage of. She talks about the art program, right? She talks about different services that she took advantage of, and she didn't use the services to stay on the services, but to help her get to the next step. And if we would simply identify, here's what I want you to do. First thing I want you to identify the resources that are available to you. Identify the resources, write them down. After you identify them and you write them down, what can they do for you? So my cousin said, okay, I need services for this. So when she went to college, no one ever told her about DSPS, that's Disabled Student Services and Programs. No one ever told her about it. So the first year she had to drop out of college. Oh, there we go. There we go. She had to drop out of college the first year. But she came back stronger. And she found out about the services. She said, well, what can you do for me? They said, we can help you with this and this. That I found out about DSPS services because of my cousin. I had to utilize DSPS services when I was in college because I had a learning disability. I learned because I watched her go through it. So what services are available and how can they help you? Once you identify them and you said, this is what I need, this is how it can help me, then what I want you to do after that, I want you to say, how long are you going to take advantage of these services? Right? So in California, welfare is 5 years for the parents. So the child can stay on welfare to 18, but the parent only gets 5 years on welfare. That's all he said to people, right? 5 years is enough time for you to go get your associate's degree. It's enough time for you to do something. So I want you to set a time limit on how long you're going to utilize these programs. In California, they also have resources such as housing for foster youth, but they have a time limit on it. 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. What happens is because you didn't plan how long you were going to, I'm going to maximize my time. So if they allow me 5 years on welfare, at the end, I'm going to use 5 years. Then after you identify how long you're going to utilize those services, I want you to write down what goals should you have accomplished after you utilize those services. Because that's what my cousin did. She said, I'm going to use DSPS services. And after I get done at this amount of time, I'm going to have a degree. And I'm telling you, when you read this book and you read what she's been through, oh, man, you not only will your mind be blown, but what you'll do is you'll say, there's no excuse for me. That's why when people say college is not for everybody, that's a reason for you not to go. That's an excuse for you, not because you really believe it. That's why I don't let folks you get away with saying that, oh, college isn't for everyone. No, you're lazy. Oh, they know what the truth. Sade, don't say that. They're lazy. And they're using, that's why I tell social workers and professionals, stop saying that around foster youth. Don't say that college is not for everybody, because it is. It has to be when you're poor. It has to be when you have no resources and you don't have a spoon in your mouth. You have to make yourself. You have to. Because can you imagine not having any resources? College is a resource. How many people can you be introduced to? My cousin was introduced to resources because of college. I'm not going to college because of the paper, the letters they put on top of my grade. I go because I know the people who I can meet when I do go. That's why I go. Because when you go to the projects, there's nobody in the project who can give me an opportunity that's legal. Not one person. And so my cousin, she identified the resources. She said how much time she's going to utilize these resources. And she identified the goal. Oh, some of you guys are just running around with your head cut off like a chicken. Oh, well, they offer foster youth this program, so I'm going to run around and do this. Oh, welfare, let me stay on for 5 years. What are you accomplishing at the end of the 5 years? You know that you can accomplish a bachelor's degree if you got on welfare and went to a bachelor's degree. And I know this too because personally, I've been on government assistance programs, lived in apartments that were low income. And what I did was I took advantage of the fact that I can go from utilizing resources. I gave myself a timeline, went from subsidized housing to being a homeowner. How does that happen? Very simple. I listened to my cousin. I watched my cousin. I put a time. This is how long I'm going to be doing this. This is how long I'm going to be doing. At the end of it, I'm going to have a goal. I'm a homeowner now. I don't rent. I might rent to other people, but I don't rent. There's nothing wrong with rent. I'm just saying, have a goal in mind. When I went to college, I said, I'm going to give myself this amount of time and I'm going to do this right here. So that's what I want you all to do. Identify what resources are available. What will it do for you? Right? How long are you going to utilize that resource and what's the end result? So for those of you who are taking notes, I just broke it all the way down for you. All right? Let me keep going. I'm going to go another 10 minutes. All right. So in her book, she talks about some of the things that she went through. But then she talked about something else. She talked about she ended up getting she ended up getting married. She married the love of her life, despite how the environment she grew up in. She still was married. She had a healthy relationship. She loved her husband. Not only a healthy, intimate relationship, but she went back to school after she earned her associates and became a chef. She became a chef and opened up her own business. I was going through our Instagram conversations, and she sent me a text about a year ago and it said, "Hey, Sade, do you remember when I did my seasonings a few years ago and you told me I should bottle them and sell them?" She said, "Well, I got a grant for $2,000. Again, somebody who made the most out being stuck is not an option. She said, "You know what Sade said, that I'm a packager. I have her seasonings. Let me see, Amar, grab cousin Tranisha seasonings out of the cabinet. I'm gonna get the seasonings for you. Bomb seasonings. Yeah, both of them, please. Seasoning, author, chef, created her own business. Then she started selling dog treats and stuff. Here it is right here. She had these seasonings right here. Let me see if there it is right there. She got the labels on them. I mean, it tells you all the everything that's in it. She created this. She made in her own home kitchen. She didn't wait till she had a building. She didn't wait for somebody to say, "Hey, here's a kitchen for you to start making your seasonings." She made her seasonings at home. And some of you guys have more than enough opportunity, and you guys still don't take advantage of it. She said, I'm going to do what I can with what I have right now. Write that down. I need to do what I can with what I have right now. She made these seasonings. This is a jerk season. This stuff. So when she passed away, she left her family businesses they can run. What are you leaving your family? Probably a bill. What are you leaving your family if you have to go to the other side? She left us with plenty of products and everything for us to help her with. Again, being stuck is not an option. Let me jump to the end, because she said something in the end that got me. Because not only did she get married, she also did the keto. She made sure she was on the keto diet. She did what she needed to do, etc. Right? And she said right here, she said, this is what she said on page 41. She said, when you are trying to do something positive or trying to succeed, you will, and I say it again, you will have those little triggers in your head trying to shoot your dream down rather than building them up. She was speaking wisdom. And then she said, those are the kind of people you don't need in your life, the people who bring you down. She said, well, I got news for you. I was one of the young ones that had individuals telling me, you are not going to be able to go to school, live on your own while having seizures or illness. I've always had the mindset, I don't care what nobody says. It's how I feel and what I think. Again, y'all heard of that book, Think and Grow Rich? My cousin was told she would never live on her own. That is the honest truth. I remember when she moved out on her own. I was terrified. I remember I was like 18, 19. I'm like, oh my God. I was terrified. But she said, I don't care what nobody says. It's how I feel and what I think. What I think. Some of you don't think of yourself as higher than what you are. That's why you are where you are. That's why when people present services and resources to you, opportunities to you, you don't follow through. That's why I can't deal with people when they say, but Sade, I was dealt a bad card. I got a learning disability. I got this. I don't care. I myself had that. I got family member who had that. But Sade, you got way more resources than she had. Let me just keep reading it. She said, I'm going to do what I want to do and how I want to do it. My cousin was a brave soul, y'all. She was brave. She didn't care what nobody else thought. My cousin used to wear her hair a certain way, and her eye, she's always had like bright eye, what do you call eyeshadow? And we used to be like, Tranisha, like, you gonna wear the bright eyeshadow across your eyes and stuff? She said yes, and I look good. She didn't care. Some of y'all need to stop caring what people think of you. Oh my God, I had to rebuke myself the other day. I was like, I can't go live. This is before I go. My hair ain't done. Somebody needed a message from me, and I didn't go live because I didn't care about my hair. My cousin wouldn't care how not that she didn't care about, but she would just, she would say, you know what, this is how I'm going to. And that's what she did. Being stuck was not an option for her. She said, I have resources. She volunteered in the community. Someone reached out and said she was a leader. You know what? When people pass away, people always lie. She was such a great person. Wonderful. But no lie was ever told about my cousin. I had radio stations reaching out to me because of the community work she did. Chefs were dropping off food. Saying, what a beautiful, crying, devastated. They're starting scholarships in her name. And some of you are still allowing yourself to be stuck where you are. Being stuck is not an option. Let me keep reading what she said. She said, and if you don't like it, you don't have to be around me. This is what she said. She said, look, if you don't like what I'm doing, you don't have to be around me. And some of y'all need to say that to people. You don't like my decision, you don't have to be around me. My cousin used to always tell me that. I say, hey, Tranisha, don't do this. Well, you ain't got to be around me. I sure wish some of you would say that, because your dreams would be a lot further had you said that to people. Oh, let's keep going. She said, if my doctor said it's fine, then I shouldn't have to worry about what nobody else has to say. Again, she wasn't like, I'm just going to do whatever I want. She said, as long as my doctor said it, she had a professional say it. Some of you guys are just sitting there like, oh, well, I don't know. The professionals tell you that you're okay to start a business. The professionals tell you that you are healthy enough to do this, to do that, to move forward with your life, and you still find excuses. Let me keep going. She said, yeah, I was upset and did argue with them, but I guarantee you that it did change their opinion though. I really wanted to show myself, not others. She said, I wanted to show myself that I can go out there and be somebody great. She didn't want to prove to no. Some of y'all, all my haters, all my this. She didn't say, I want to prove everybody wrong. She said, I want to prove to myself that I can go out there and be somebody great, which is what she was. She said, if I say I am going to do something, I would make sure I got out there and did it the correct way. Oh, not anyway. She said the correct way. Some of us are just doing stuff the correct way. This is principles from her book. The correct way. And some of us are gliding past key words. She said the correct way. Oh, I just wish that I really wish that some people would take a look at their lives and be honest. You're smoking. You're drinking. You're having sex with random people. Unprotected at that moment. Running outside during a pandemic with no mask on, talking about the doctors are liars. All these people who are researching are crazy. You're ignorant. You've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray. But yet and still, you make excuses for being stuck. You still make excuses. When I had a cousin, I really want you guys to purchase this book, not because I'm promoting her book, but because this book right here, I'm telling you, you read her story, you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Within the first chapter, you read the first chapter, you'll shut your mouth. You will never make another excuse in life. Because even me, I watched her go through stuff. I stopped making excuses. After I read again her story, her life, I watched her live it. I stopped. I said no more. No more excuses. No more, oh, they taking forever to do this. They taking forever to do that. I'm going to make it happen. I told some of my colleagues, I said, yo, I'm going to make $15,000 a week. He said, a week? I said, yeah, $15,000 a week. And he had to rebuke himself because he was like, yo, Sade, like, how you going to do that? I said, I'm going to make $15,000 a week. I said, and that's just me being generous. That's just me being conservative. I'm just being nice with $15,000 a week. Because I read her book. And I know that I'm just being real nice. I'm just saying that's just for the first year that I start off. When I start doing business properly, the correct way, and the word that you need in the correct way. And he had to rebuke himself, my friend. He said, hey, I apologize. I shouldn't. He came back today and was like, yo, Sade, remember when you said $15,000 a week? I said, yeah. He said, you were thinking too small. That's what happens when you get around people. My cousin said that if you don't like it, you don't have to be around her. And that's why I told you, hey, if you think $15,000 a week is too much, you got to go. That ain't nothing but $60,000 a month. That's less than $1 million a year. Again, being stuck is not an option. Let me keep going because she said here, I not only went to college. Remember I told y'all she had many disabilities. She said, I not only went to college, but I graduated from San Diego City College with my human service degree in early childhood. I also went to culinary arts school. Graduated from there too. I just want to tell folks that if they want to work, go to school, learn a trade, go out there and do it. If the doctor says you're clear, I say you never know. You're never going to learn unless you get out there in the real world and explore. If your mama, daddy, sisters, brothers, aunts, and friends say no, do what your heart and soul tells you. Don't let nobody stop or crush your dream. If you feel like you can make it, there, run and run fast. Life is short. and her life was cut short. She said the best kind of work to do, she said the best type of work to do is to do the work you love. Many of us work at jobs, places, and we hate it. And my cousin never did that. She never settled for anything less than the best. So that is why I've never in my life worked jobs I don't like. I would rather make sacrifices like going to school. I was poor when I went to school. I didn't have nothing. Look, I was barely touching 100 pounds when I went to school. But I said if I stick it out for 2 years, I have the career I love. I have the people around me who will encourage me. And when I read what my cousin said, she said, the best kind of work to do is doing something you love. Just make sure, here's the principle she gives you guys. She said, just make sure you stay persistent within what you do. Persistent means determined, single-minded, tirelessness, patient. She said, remember, if you continue to be consistent and patient, things will come to you. She said, what I can say is, I told you I could do it. Look at me now. The course of events, she said, and during this event, I'm going to name off the businesses that she created. She started Brownie Grubs, which is dedicated to her dog, Brownie. And those are dog treats. Then she created FMS, Food Makes Me Smile. That was cooking classes. Then she was a private chef. She did catering. And she was an author. And she had many challenges. And you guys have been presented with an opportunity right now to get up and work. And some of you took advantage of today, and some of you didn't. And my cousin said here, she said, this is one of the things and what I'm going to make my goal for her. She said, I also wanted to knock some things off my bucket list, such as speaking to individuals with epilepsy and speaking at the Diabetes Association. And I know I have a lot to offer them because I have a lot of experience in both areas. If I can do it, you can too. Just remember, if you can dream it, you can become it. Make sure you get the important things in your life done for you because ain't nobody else going to do it for you but you. If you don't take a chance in life, you will never know if you like something or not. Stay persistent, persistent. Stay determined and remember to live life to the fullest. She said, there are things in life that I've tried. There are many things that I wanted to try in life. There are many things that I have not tried, and that I have tried and did not succeed in. If you fall, make sure you get right back up 10 times stronger and continue to push forward. You will only fail if you do not try. She said, I've spoken to many individuals about their success stories. And I really dislike when people say things like, the reason I'm here is because of me. My family, friends, or no one else helped me except me. That's not true at all. No matter what culture, race, age, height you are, God does not discriminate against anyone. Let me be clear. She said God does not discriminate against anyone. She said we are all his children. I wake up every day and thank him for how far he has gotten me in life. Yes, I have received help from many others, and I have no problem saying that. But my Lord Jesus Christ is the main reason that I lift up my hands and to thank him for allowing others in my life to be there for me when times are rough. And my God for being the shield over my body to protect me from all those negative triggers that did not want to see me succeed in life. We have a comment we have a comment for Facebook. It says, experience has taught me that, this is from Michael Martin Jr. It says, what's up, Michael? It says, experience has taught me that the path may not always be linear, But one's mindset determine how to navigate, right, life. My cousin, and I'll end with this, okay? My cousin was taken from us very suddenly. The shock to all of us. Still hard to deal with. Very hard. But I have comfort again. Remember, I said in the beginning, for those of you who are here, I have comfort in knowing that my citizenship does not belong to this earth. My citizenship is in heaven, right? And so, but reading her book, it gave me a lot of hope, because I know the challenges that my cousin had to overcome. And for her to be an author, many of you guys should be writing books. But y'all still stuck on, I don't know how to write a book. My cousin never once did she say, she asked me for a little bit of help. But I remember I was so busy during that time. It was in 2018. I think I was so busy, and I couldn't really help her the way I wanted to. And she asked me, "Yo, how do I do this? How do I do a cover?" And I didn't really give her the advice that she needed, and she never once said, "Since Sade did not give me the advice I needed, I'm not gonna do it." She figured out a way. She published her book. That's why it irks my nerve when people come at me in the inbox and say, "How do you write a book?" I promise you, the resources are out. Google that stuff. Look in other people's book. Read who helped them publish it. If they self-publish it, Google that stuff. I promise you. Being stuck was not an option, because she made sure any obstacle she had, she found a solution for it. And so I encourage you all today to not make any more excuses. And some of them are legitimate excuses. They're legit. They really are. Legitimate reasons on why it's hard for you to persevere. But they're not going to get you anywhere. I've never seen anyone make it to their destination because they said, "This is what I was dealt." I'm not who I am because I sat in and said, "Hey, this is what I could have easily said. My mama didn't give me this. My daddy didn't give me this. I didn't have this opportunity. I didn't have that. I didn't have this. My cousin could have said this, you know." And when I say, when you read her book, man, the first chapter, you'll shut your mouth and be like, "Yo, let me stop." There's always somebody's praying for the life you have now. That's why I don't complain. When I first bought my house, I was like, "Oh, I wish I'd have bought something a little bigger." I stopped complaining. Somebody's praying to be a homeowner. When I was graduating with my associates, I was like, "Man, I wish I had a bachelor." Someone was praying for an associate. The life you have now is the life someone's praying for, and yet and still, we find a way to make excuses, justification. Guys, stop making excuses. I don't care if you're a foster youth. I don't care if your mama left you, your daddy left you. I don't care if you got one eye, one leg, and no arm. Like, I don't care about none of that stuff. I don't care if you don't have the resources. I don't care. Do it anyways. My cousin went out there and found some ground. I was looking at her packaging. I'm like, how did she get this? Like, where'd you get the jars from? How did you get the seasonings in here? Like, because she had to register. It said registration issued by the San Diego. How did she get the county of San Diego to register this? I remember sitting there like, man, how did she do this? Because no one in our family has ever done this. She's the first chef, the first chef in our family. First. And I remember thinking, how did you do that? How did you know that? She didn't care if nobody else in the family was a chef. She said, "I'm going to be the first and I'm going to figure it out." She graduated in 2013. And then, like, literally a year later, she got her certificate and became a chef. So again, guys, we can't have no reasons. We can't have no. This is available on Amazon. Available on Amazon. If you type in "being stuck is not an option," this book will come up. It's $15, and it'll be the best $15 you've ever spent. Be the best $15 you've ever spent. And what I want you guys to do is, I want for you guys to be inspired to take action. Don't just be inspired like, oh, that was a great story. Because guess what? Inspiration and motivation is like a shower. If you don't do it every day, you're going to stink. So if you don't motivate yourself, encourage yourself, and take action every day, you just a stinky, encouraged person. I don't want no more excuses, y'all. I hope y'all took notes, because I don't come on here to entertain nobody. I come on here to give life principles that have helped me be who I am. Not that I am the be-all, end-all or anything like that, but I come on here to give advice, supportive resources, etc., to help others be successful. If you want to be entertained, go get on the entertainment. Go get on Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj just posted that she pregnant. Go do it. The Shade Room got a lot of information as far as gossip and stuff like that. But if you want to take your life to another level, you want to learn some principles that's going to help you get to a whole different life than you living right now, then this is the page you come to. I don't care if I got 3 people, 2 people, no people. I'm still going to do this, because I don't do this only for myself. I do it for even the one person that's like, hey, Sade, I got to work. Can you save the live? No problem. No problem. I remember when my cousin used to come in on my lives and watch him and hit me up and say some random stuff. My baby, is that what you got from my life? So again, available at Amazon. She has many principles in this book. I want you to read it, and I want you to take the nuggets out, and I want you to apply it. She applied some stuff. She was a chef, y'all. First chef in my family, and I'm honored. So with this live, we honor Tanisha Dangerfield, author, chef, business owner, speaker, and one of my goals. Oh, by the way, if somebody's watching this live, I need to say that her goal was to speak to the diabetes, Diabetes Association, and she wanted to speak to Epilepsy Foundation and Diabetes Association. That was her goal. If anyone knows anyone in those particular areas, if you guys can put me in contact with them, because I want her book to be in there off like anyone who gets diagnosed with diabetes should immediately receive a copy of her book. You have epilepsy, no problem. You should be given a copy of her book. My cousin would literally fall out, have a seizure while working, and would get back up and still work. Some of y'all stub y'all toe or have a little common cold and be like, I can't call in, I can't go in for work. What a shame. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Oh, Sade, self-care. Some of y'all taking this self-care stuff too far. You shouldn't be self-caring for nothing. What you self-caring for? You ain't accomplished nothing. Oh, you got to take care of yourself. I promise you got to take care of yourself. But how you going to take care of yourself and you haven't accomplished nothing? There's nothing to take care. Are you nourishing your bad habits? Are you self-caring for bad behaviors that you continue to have? Addictions that you have? You have gambling addiction. You have sex addiction. You have people. You're addicted to money. You're addicted to clothes. You're addicted to people. You worshiping idols. And you talking about, I need a self-care day. Self-care? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, don't get me started. Again, I will say this. My cousin, after she accomplished every goal, she made sure to take care of herself. Some of y'all need to stop taking care of yourself and start accomplishing your goals and your dreams. Stop spending your money on spas when you don't deserve a spa day. Stop lying and saying you're buying these clothes to invest in your business. You should look raggedy in your business because you haven't earned the right to look like you have money. You haven't earned that right. You need to look raggedy and poor so people can see the evolution. Wow, look at Sade. She's looking toe up in that video, child. Look at her hair, look at her hair, look at her hair. few years later, after I worked, I said, whoa, look at her hair, look at her hair, look at her hair. She didn't change. It's because I worked 10 times harder to get what I got. And I'll tell you this, if you black and you're on this live, you need to work 10 times as hard. Just have half of what they got. And that's the honest truth. That is the truth. That is true. I know, and like I know for those of you who are false using, you're watching, you're like, Sade, you took it hard on us. You took it hard on us. Good. I hope you cry. I hope you cry. I hope you spend all night crying and get your butt up the next day and work. Those of you who are on county assistance, I hope you took it hard on us. You made us cry. Good. Get your butt up tomorrow and work. And I want you to look at the county plan that you're on. I want you to say, I got 4 more years on welfare, and I'm getting in 4 years, I need to have an associate's degree. And that's being generous. In 4 years, I want to show my kids how to have a business. In 4 years, in 5 years, in this, what resources have you taken? My cousin give resources in here. In fact, she talks about how she had, I ain't going to give a story away. My cousin could not work because she kept having seizures because of her many illnesses and things like that. You know, they would not give her Social Security. She did not say, they're not giving me Social Security, I'm just going to sit around. She braided hair for 2 years straight. 2 years straight. She would be braided hair and have a seizure. She worked her tail off. And then finally, she advocated for herself and got the Social Security. But she volunteered. And she said that in her book, don't ever receive Social Security and just sit down. She said, go volunteer somewhere. Go do something. Go back to school. Learn a trade. Even if you can never work in that trade, just go do something. That's why she said, find your passion, because when she stopped having seizures, when she found her passion. Get yourself on a plan. Those of you who aren't receiving services or anything like that, you got an organization, a nonprofit or for-profit. What are your goals? Identify them, right? I have a goal. By the end of 2021, I need to be making a certain amount of money that allows me to take my talents, my gifts that God has allowed me to have to a whole nother level. There's no way that you should be seeing me at the same level. Like, that's why I said, go back to 2019. My logo was, this is how my logo was in 2019. 2020, my logo is different. 2020, I'm investing in people to help me take my brand to another level. The evolution has taken place. My cousin, that's what she did. From here to there. So let me get off here because I don't want to take too much of y'all time. I'll give a few seconds. If anyone has any questions, I'll wait a few seconds just in case people got questions. If you don't have any questions, this live is over. But I want to make sure that those, and even if you have your questions about my cousin, I'll be more than happy to answer it. And let me give some etiquette too. I want to give some etiquette just in case y'all need some. I'm gonna just do this. I had never posted on social media that anything happened in my family. Random people hit me up and I guess they found out through other family members on social media. They would hit me up and say, "Hey, what happened?" Me telling you what happened to her, is that gonna bring her back to life? Do you plan on pitching in for the funeral? I mean, have you chipped in for the funeral? You got every right to ask. You ain't chipped in for no funeral, and you still believe it's okay for you to ask. Do me a favor. Don't ever ask anybody on social media. If you were close to them, you already know. You asking them on social media what happened to a person is disrespectful, and I believe that is a whole nother live I need to get into, and we need to talk about having some etiquette. I don't know if it's the whole COVID-19 or people feel comfortable on social media asking those things. That is inappropriate. All you need to know is that she lived her life to her fullest. She did more than what most people will ever do in their life. She was an amazing individual. So what difference does it make? I promise you, don't ask me how my cousin died. That irritates. Someone literally called me today asking that. I'm not even going to mention who it is because it's somebody who I know and this person called me, I must have cussed him out. I don't care. I cussed him smooth out. You ever in your life call me saying that stupid stuff? You ain't even say, hey, how you doing? You all right? Hey, I heard about what's going on. You didn't even fake like you cared. And I tell you one thing about my cousin. Anybody who ever knew my cousin, she was direct. She'd tell you flat out, oh, you got some nerve. So again, that's some etiquette. I guess free game for you. That's coming from Sade Burrell. That's free game for you. Don't go on social media asking people. I don't even care if they wanted you to know, they would have posted the reason on social media. And you gotta mind you, I didn't post nothing until after the repast. I got people on Facebook hitting me. Oh, what happened? None of your business. Unless you want to contribute to the funeral cost. When you want to throw some dollars in the air for the funeral cost, then I tell you, you have the right to know. You ain't contributing not a dime. Not a dime. So, hey, y'all, do me a favor. Don't ever do that to people. That's disrespectful. So just say, hey, I send my condolences to you. Is there any, what's up, Tempest? You say, hey, can I send my condolences to you? Is there anywhere, do you, don't even ask, do you need anything? Just send them, what's your Cash App? My coworker, shout out to my coworker, Marcus. He don't have social media. Hit me up. And all, yo, what's your what's that app? What's your Vimeo or Vimeo? Gave it to him. He sent money. Gave that to my family. Make sure that things would take. I said, hey, my coworker gave this to me. Use it for whatever y'all need to. All right, y'all. I gotta go. It's been good. God bless you all. To God be the glory. I see y'all all, I believe, tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again. Please share this live. Share my flyer. I promise you tomorrow we get back to the opportunity guide. Let's go. Being stuck is not an option. Available on Amazon right now. You can type in being stuck is not an option. Tanisha Dangerfield, pop right on up. It's going to not only inspire you because she's an inspirational person, but you're going to be inspired to get your butt up and make something. Stop making excuses. You deserve better than that. It's me, Sade Burrell. Stand for something.